Down the Carbon Car Systems, guys. Today we're going to be reviewing the Kenwood DDX917WS widescreen unit for the Toyotas. So this is the new model. They had the 916 last year, and we're just going to be talking about some of the key upgrades and key features of this unit. We're going to show you what's in the box and show you it in the car. So we're going to run through this quickly because, you know, no one likes to waste time, so let's go do it. So this is the unit itself. We've left the plastic on it, but we'll show you in a car in just a moment. So it's a nice widescreen flat unit, same as the DDX916 from last year. Very, very good unit. It's got the rounded edges. It fits Toyotas and Subarus with that style dash directly. In the box you get an instruction manual. You do get a GPS receiver. So this is a GPS receiver here. It does not have GPS built in, but the GPS receiver is there to improve the accuracy of the Apple CarPlay and the Android Auto, which is where you can use the apps off your phone on the unit when you plug it in. Now, some of the notable differences this year is they have two USB extension cables, one grey, one black. Now, this we've tried out. The black one is for the Apple CarPlay and the grey one here is for the Android Auto, okay? And it must be that way out of the back of the unit. So previously, last year, they didn't have extensions like this. They actually just had a special plug that goes in the Kenwood, but they had voltage drop issues with the Apple CarPlay and the Android Auto, which they've actually fixed this year. And the way they've actually fixed that is on the back of the unit, they've given you these two short cables like this instead. So if you wanted to run like a factory USB adapter, rather than having this real long cable which they had last year, then another one in the car which is a USB adapter, and then on top of that you'd have your smartphone cable, which is like for Apple, your lightning connector. You'd end up with about 3 meters worth of cable, and the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wouldn't work correctly because of voltage drop. So this year they've fixed that, which is a really cool way to go. So you can omit those extensions if you've got a factory adapter in the car, which shortens it and allows them to work. The other harness that you have here, this is the main power harness. So that is a really cool thing that it's built for Toyotas. It'll plug directly into Toyotas way back to 1994 even, all the way through. So on this, when you do this, the light green cable you do want to earth out because that is the handbrake wire. If you earth it out, it will allow you to watch DVDs and use a lot of the functions even while driving for your passengers, okay, for your passengers. So not while driving. One of the cool additions they have this year is they have a new dash camera port on the back of the unit. So this is to allow the new DRV-N520, which is a driver recorder camera, and you can now control that on the units. That is out in April 2017 here in Australia. And some of the changes they did was they actually gold plated all these RCA connectors, and the reason they did that is because they have a focus this year on high resolution music files, because this unit auto upscales any audio-visual source into 32-bit sampling. So if it's lower than that, it'll auto upscale it, which is a really cool feature. You can also run a front and rear camera straight into the unit. It also will come with this, so you can run, so this is another input, a video or a composite input to run any other DVD source or AV source as well. You have your external mic, remote control, and this is cool. This is a Toyota 28-pin steering wheel control adapter because these units do have steering wheel controls built into them. So that's analog system. So any Toyota and vehicles like that, you can actually just program the functionality of the steering wheels with no extra adapters needed. So that is very, very cool. One of the things they did do this year is they actually removed the HDMI cable. So there is no HDMI cable in the back of these anymore, and that is because it has built-in Wi-Fi. So the new built-in Wi-Fi will allow you to wirelessly mirror from your phone any apps or anything on the screen directly on the unit. Now, that is using Miracast for the Android systems, which is amazing because it is two-way compatible. So you can actually control wirelessly on the Kenwood unit what happens on your phone. Like you can use any of the apps, the SMSing, anything. And what you can also do, you can do this with Apple, but it's only one way. So and to do that, you actually have to update this unit with a patch, which we have a link on our YouTube channel, Carbon Car Systems, to show you how to allow that so that Apple users can also wirelessly mirror link to the unit. Now, some of the reasons you'd want to do that is so you can run apps that aren't native to the smartphone system. So if you had Apple, you have to run Apple Maps through the Apple CarPlay, but if you actually want to run a Google Maps or Waze navigation, or if you're in a four-wheel drive, you might want Hammer Maps, you can now do that and mirror it wirelessly, which is a very cool way to go. So we're actually going to show you this in a car now. So we're going to jump over to this 86. we're going to show you some of the features in that. We have actually an Android phone here. So we've installed this a little bit earlier, and here it is in the car. So this is in a Toyota 86, but it's going to look like that in most of the vehicles out there. Very sleek design, very quick load up times on these units. As you can see here, it's just loading. You can actually change these splash screens as well, which is kind of a cool thing. We might do a blog post on how to do that a little bit later. Reverse cameras work nicely on these units. So that's the reverse camera there. You can turn guidelines on and off. One of the cool things this year, they put this automatic remove this message after 10 seconds for the disclaimer. Now last year they didn't have that, and you would have to touch this button every time. Sorry, I missed it because it went away after 10 seconds. But that was a cool thing, so that automatically goes away now, which is very, very cool. The reverse camera will work while it was booting, as you saw. So when you jump in the car, there's no need to wait for the unit to boot, which is really, really good. So this is the main screen that you have. You can still move all these apps around on the screen, so you can just quickly move them and switch them up. That's really cool. It still does have this nav button, even though the nav is not available in Australia, or I don't even think they're making that add-on anywhere in the world anymore. I believe there is some cheap add-ons on the net from third parties that allow it, but why would you do that with Apple CarPlay and everything that you have now? You generally don't need that. So we're going to show you the Apple CarPlay quickly. I'm going to plug this into my phone. Alright, so the Apple CarPlay will work like this. So you just plug it in, it will automatically come up, which is an awesome feature of these units. And Apple CarPlay recently got some buffs on them, and they got these side icons and a few other things, so you can actually do the music, navigation. Everything is very, very Apple-ish, very, very quick on this unit, not a problem at all. And it defaults to Siri to do a lot of the things, so it'll ask you to do, you know, where do you want to navigate, etc., and it'll talk to you as you do it. One of the other things you can actually do is, even though it asks you default to talk, you can still type things in manually as well. So that is one of the cool things of these units. I'm just going to grab an Android phone, and I'm going to show you the Android based platform as well. So I'm just going to cut the video and we'll come back to that quickly. Okay, we got us an Android phone. So this is a Samsung S6, but it will work on anything 5.0 and above on the Android platforms. You will have to download the app on some of the systems. It won't be already built in. You can get it from the Google Play Store. And as you plug this unit in, it tells you to accept the Android Auto. So we'll go through accept terms and conditions. See, I'll bring it into screen for you. So there we go, accept the terms, blah, blah, blah. Telling you they take no responsibility for anything. You have to accept and allow them to do everything to your phone and send reports to everybody. Notification access, so we'll turn that on as well. Okay, so there's all the notifications that we're going to turn on, and she's up and running. So this is the Android Auto. So with Apple users, anything with the Lightning connector and above will actually work on Apple, so it's really easy. It's already built in. Here's the Android platform. It'll tell you to go through. It shows you how to use it at first, but it is very, very simple. So it tells you to talk to it and tap the mic. You can talk automatically and use the Cortana or whatever native hands-free or voice recognition you have on the system. This is Google Maps. Very nice platform. It's got the phone calls here. Very, very fast and smooth screen on these new Kenwoods. It's a capacitive touchscreen, which means it uses the current in your finger to swipe the screen, much like all your smartphones as well. So that's one of the requirements of Android Auto and Apple place on these units. They have to be quite good. So it's a very fast processor. So there's some of the music apps that they're allowing at the moment, and this is a Kenwood home button. So that's the Android Auto side of it. Very, very cool. They have these different setups where playing different music, you can look at different things and times as well. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut the video. We're going to show you how to do the wireless mirroring. We're going to show you on the Android because it's two-way, and that'll be one of the cool things that you can do on this. Alright guys, now I'm going to show you the wireless mirroring of the Android phones. It is a little bit fiddly. We were just playing with it, and there is a few things we noticed. You will have to turn off all existing Wi-Fi connections so that it can connect to this system. So we're sitting here in Wi-Fi and it didn't work because it was connected to the Wi-Fi of the store. So turn all that off, and then once you're actually in the unit, most phones go through this top screen, quick connect, and you can mirror cast through there. And it should automatically say connected once you've had this system plugged into the unit, it will actually come up here and say it's connected. This on the Samsung Galaxy, this is the S6, we found we had to go through Smart View, okay, and what we actually did, we renamed this Toyota 86, which you can actually do in the settings. You can rename the actual the vehicle, so that will say connected, and it's going to say connected and sharing screen. Then you can go into the Wi-Fi, and there you have it. It will actually mirror what's on the screen. Now this is two-way mirroring, so you can actually touch buttons on the screen and it will respond, so we can actually go through settings. One of the things I found, you could scroll up from the bottom, there is a home, a back, and a variety of screens button, but they didn't actually work in the vertical mode, so that was a little bit annoying. And it wouldn't actually orientate sideways on the home screen, so if we turned it, it wouldn't actually orientate that way. But if you were in an app, for example, so we can actually go into Google here, YouTube, and we can orientate sideways. So there, that was kind of cool. And when you were in it sideways, then the buttons from the bottom would then swipe up and you could use sideways and actually use them. So look, we could go home here and they would actually work. See, that went home that time. So that was one of the cool things. And if you're going to ask, a lot of people will ask this, it does actually mirror the audio from your phone as well. So if you are in YouTube and we don't have any speakers turned up in this car and you were watching a video in YouTube, it would actually mirror the sound over for you as well. So it is kind of cool if you're using some other sort of app devices, and like I said, it is two-way. So see here, we're actually controlling it wirelessly through the screen itself. But it was a little bit annoying that it did not work, these back buttons and all that didn't work in the vertical position, but they do in the horizontal. So yeah, you'll still have to touch your phone a little bit. But I guess this could be because it's an S6. I haven't tried it on anything newer. But you can actually go through and you can do all sorts of cool things on that. You could actually use your SMSs really easy and stuff. So if we went back on the phone, let's go back to our home screen, for example, and you had the vertical, you know, he could go into his messages and you could use them horizontally, and it was really easy to type in there as well. So you could actually type in and go through it. It wasn't real bad at all. It was really responsive actually. So there you go. So that shows the wireless mirroring anyway. So that's for the Android. So there was a few little bugs, and also what we found was if we just come out of Android Auto and tried to go straight into mirroring, it wouldn't work. It would actually be frozen on the actual Android Auto screen. And all we did to fix that was we actually just turned the unit on and off and then tried the mirroring straight away. So it did work from there. So there's a little few bugs in it, but it works with the iOS as well. Like I said, when you actually go into the mirroring though for this, it doesn't have the iOS connected. We actually have to update a patch. So what I might do is I'll quickly show you that in this video as well, this review. I'll go get the unit, the little USB, and we'll update that quickly. Okay, so what you'll notice when you go into the Wi-Fi or the air mirroring, it actually just comes up with Miracast and doesn't give you an option for another device. So if you want to use Apple devices, it needs to say connection switch here. So we're going to do an update on this. We have a patch file which we'll make available on our website, and we also have a how to use it on our YouTube channel, Carbon Car Systems, so go check that out. We'll quickly update this and we'll show you the Apple Wi-Fi mirroring. Okay, so we'll do that quickly. Okay, guys, so we've just updated quickly. All it is plugging in a USB with a downloaded patch from our website. Go to our Carbon Car Systems YouTube channel, we'll show you how to do it, and carboncarsystems.com.au will have the patch available. And just basically plug it in and wait 15 seconds and turn the unit on and off. Once you've done that, Miracast will come up. It'll now say connection switch, and this new connection switch, that is for the Apple devices. It will say wireless link up the top. We can't actually show you on this phone. I have to switch phones because we're recording with the Apple, but I'll show you that in just one moment. So we're just going to cut the video again and we'll show you the wireless link for the Apple. Okay guys, went and got myself an iPhone quickly, and we're going to show you the air mirroring on this. So as I said, it needs to come up with this connection switch, and you are going to have to go into your settings on your iPhone. So we'll see to get the focus on here. You're going to have to pair it through the Wi-Fi directly to the vehicle. Okay, so it should come up with Toyota 86. Here it is down here. We've renamed it. So I hope you can see that there. It'll ask for the password. This password is on the screen. So the password is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Tells you that on the screen. You're going to join the network then. That will take a couple of seconds. Once that's actually joined the network, you're going to swipe up from the bottom and you're going to touch AirPlay mirroring and click Car Multimedia, and that will actually mirror for the iPhones. Okay, so you must get that patch from our website. We have it up there already. It is running. So this is not two-way compatible. Okay, it only ever mirrors exactly what's on the screen. But the cool thing about that is that it actually works really quick, and it does orientate even on the home screen. So whatever you're on, it will orientate and you can play anything. So that's nice if you wanted to use Google Maps or Waze or stuff like that. Like you actually have Waze here, so it's kind of a cool navigation app because it tells you where all the speed cameras are and things like that. So it's a nice app as well. So you might want to set that up before you go driving, and opens you up to a whole heap of apps. Like you can get apps for your cars, like how fast it's going, things like that as well. So that is the Apple section for the wireless mirror link. Okay, so that was all your wireless mirror linking stuff for the Apple and Android, and that included Apple CarPlay, and we're just going through that. But this unit also has Bluetooth hands-free, which is all typical on most units these days, so very easy to use. It also has CD, DVD, the eject button on the right here, so you can actually change the angle of the screen or scroll it down, and there is CDs behind. Now you can also change all the colors of the unit, so all these buttons on the side doesn't have to be scrolling like this. It can actually set it to be a fixed color, so that's very cool. I'm going to show you some of the settings in here as well. When you're changing settings, it is best to have the unit turned completely to standby mode. So you go into here, scroll across and go standby, because some of the settings you cannot change without doing that. So here we are in standby mode, it should say it here, and you can actually go through to the settings. So some of the special things you can do, you can reinitialize this unit if it ever plays up, but we've never had one play up, so they're very good. Previously last year you had the switch between Android Auto and CarPlay in the AV setting. This year you don't have to do that because they do have the separate USBs, so that is all under one unit now. There's no need to switch. Wi-Fi setup, you can actually change the name of it, so we changed this to Toyota E6 just so you don't get confused what you're connecting to. This is where you would change all your colors in the display, and one of the cool things is the user interface. So the steering wheel remote controller, you can actually learn all the steering wheel controls if a vehicle has it. This car does not have steering wheel controls, but you would just push a button, hold it, and then map it to the correct. So if you're holding volume up for 2 seconds, it'll come up, what do you want this button to do? You would tap volume up, and it goes through like that, and you click learn complete. Very easy. One of the things this unit has is gesture control. So this is swiping in front of the screen. So swipe up, swipe down, swipe across. It can change things. So you can actually have swipe up, go home, swipe down. You can change it to be front camera, rear camera, whatever you like, CarPlay, Android mirroring, etc. So you can actually change that yourselves. So that's kind of cool. So we can try that out. Let's try that out here. So we'll set that up. If you swipe, it's gone to home. If you swipe down, you should go to the mirroring. So there you go, it's gone straight to the mirroring. Swipe up and it will go home. So that's gestures on this unit that can be customized as well. So that's pretty much all the settings on here that you would play with. It's got a lot of audio settings, but that's standard on most units these days. And the reverse camera, you can set up your parking guidelines as well, so they are adjustable in the unit. So I'll bring that in so you can see there. Okay, so you can adjust that a little bit and play with it automatically. And I think that's pretty much all that you need to look at on this unit. It's pretty straightforward from there. The audio setup is actually really good, because like I said, it's got gold-plated terminals this year and does the high-res upscaling of all the audio. It does have positional, fader, crossovers, and a great little equalizer, and it really good. So the audio settings themselves are actually top-notch for this unit, so definitely something Kenwood's working on. They're releasing some high-res speakers in limited edition this year as well to go with these sort of units. So that's a quick review of everything that I thought was the main differences from last year, and I hope that helps everybody out. If you have any questions, be sure to ask. We can try things out and help you out with that. These are available now in Australia, carboncarsystems.com.au, and if there's anything else you want us to review, let us know. So there you have it, guys. That's the Kenwood DDX917 widescreen for the Toyotas and Subaru with the 200mm wide rounded edges stereo. I hope that review was very helpful for you guys and pointed out some of the features and functions of the unit. These units, I forgot to mention, they retail for $11.99 in Australia. They are available now on our website, carboncarsystems.com, and check out our YouTube channel and subscribe for other cool videos, and we show you how-tos and how to install these things.